Good day and welcome back to the Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. Really appreciate you joining me today. Thank you. Yesterday, we worked on identifying what we're calling our negative storylines. We discovered here together that our simply recognizing this storyline for what it is itself a major step towards disempowering it. You recall we talked about being able to step back or decenter from it helps to remove its stranglehold on our lives. I want to today apply another skill to this idea of looking at our storylines. It's a skill that we've practiced a lot here, namely mindful awareness. And let's see if we can apply mindful awareness to an exercise to our even further relaxing this death grip of what we've called the depressor. And this is the depressor that generates these storylines. We've got a part inside of us that generates these storylines, and we actually believe the delusion. We believe that it's real. And so we're going to try and experiment with mindful awareness to see if it can't help to free us from the distress which so oftentimes attaches to these negative storylines. So will you join me? For today's exercise, what I'd like you to do is start off by practicing the same exercise we've done a few times here recently, 5 minutes of mindfulness of the breath, no more than 5 minutes. I'm going to read the instructions to you, and then you can do this on your own time, and you can come back and review them. So the instructions for the mindfulness exercise are these. Close your eyes, then begin to slowly breathe in through your nose. As you breathe in, notice that your stomach rises slightly on the inhalation, and as you exhale, notice that it slowly falls. Try that right now. Breathing in, rising, breathing out, falling. While you're doing this, it's very natural for thoughts, sensations, and sensations to come and go. If your mind wanders to those thoughts and sensations, in other words, it wanders from the breath, just gently return your attention to the rising and the falling of your stomach with each mindful breath. Now, those are the instructions, 5 minutes doing that. And when you've completed that, I want you to go back to the previous exercise where we identified our negative storylines. You'll remember I asked for you to select a time in which you fell into negative self-talk amidst some kind of stressor, typically an interpersonal stressor. I want you to review that situation as you wrote it down. The example I gave most recently was my friend criticized me, the example of a stressor. That's the situation. I will ask you next to review that situation for any negative storyline which might have gotten activated. The example I gave was something like this. This would be an example of a negative storyline. I'll never be any good at what he was criticizing me about. Now that's a story that's added to the initial criticism. I also asked you to review how that negative storyline left you feeling in your body. And so when you did this previous exercise, go back and reread what you wrote, including how you felt in your body. The example I gave was, I feel slightly sick to my stomach. And then finally review from what you did before, any related requirements that arose. These are requirements that we place on ourselves in order to be at peace or to be happy. The example I gave was, I can't deal with criticism from friends. That's it, absolutely black and white. I cannot deal with it. Now, today, after having done this mindfulness exercise, I'd like you to make note of any differences between our review today, just now, of negative storylines, following upon mindfulness, and the previous storyline exercise that was completed without mindfulness. And let's just see if there's any differences. For example, is your mind more or less cluttered today versus being clear, related to having done the mindfulness exercise? Is your body more or less tense versus relaxed? In this state, after having practiced mindfulness for just 5 minutes, how do you feel emotionally? And having just reviewed this negative storyline that we did following on mindfulness, how might you act based on this state now of mind and body? Let's see what you discover. In the meantime, I want to thank you again for spending part of your day with us here at the Vitality Project. It's much appreciated. Thank you. Between now and then, I hope that you'll complete the exercise. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Please stay safe, be well, and come back and join me then.